Hey there everyone, and welcome to Corey Loses, where today we are going to be talking about the testing process and release date for Imperial Civil War 2.2 The Warlords. So, before we go any further in this video, first off, if you prefer a text version, there is a link to that in the description. But this is all tentative information you're going to hear. It's all subject to change. We're pretty confident in the timelines we've set up. We're pretty confident in we know what's left and how long it'll take. But release dates are always tentative. Everything's in flux. We don't know what's going to happen in the future, so something could come up that's unexpected. So just fair warning, take everything I say here with a grain of salt. And again, we're very confident that we can hit the release dates that we're setting, but again, stuff can change. But that being said, as we've discussed in previous updates, the testing of the mod will be handled in a few progressively more open phases. So we've been testing the mod internally with the permanent testers as we've gone. So the development team and the permanent testers have been making sure a lot of this stuff works. So there's plenty of issues that we've already caught and dealt with. But broader pools of testers tend to make it easier to test the less common occurrences and figure out the balancing issues, which is why we're doing an open phase at all. And we're also trying to break that up into more manageable parts. So we want to start smaller and progressively make our way larger, because it's a lot easier to catch some of the larger or more problematic issues. You don't need like 30 people telling you like, oh, if I start this GC, this event that's supposed to fire doesn't fire. You just need one person to tell you that, and then as you sort those things out and get to the more granular issues, it's better to have a broader pool. So our goal with setting up the testing process is centered around that. We want to have the easiest method to get that progressively larger pool without requiring a huge amount of overhead or management from the team, so that the development team, we can actually focus on developing the mod instead of like tracking down people asking if they want to test, getting them set up to test, which is why it's all going to be handled out of our forums. So with that goal in mind, the first bit of open testing will take place on the official Thrawn's Revenge forums in the Admiral's Lounge section. So this is a post-restricted board, which does require 25 posts to access. It can be accessed whether you've posted 25 times before or during the testing period. There's no cutoff date beyond when testing ends, because then obviously there's nothing to test. So we know plenty of people are active and who love the mod. They've just been active in other places, not the forums, whether that's Discord, mod database, the YouTube comments here. And again, this isn't about trying to reward or punish people for activity in one place versus another. It's just that the forums they provide the best way for us to manage the feedback, because if you've ever tried to read through YouTube comments or try to run anything out of YouTube comments, it doesn't work. It's impossible to have like a consistent way to give instructions with notifications, have different people weighing in on bugs, reporting bugs in a more organized way. Same thing goes for an instant messaging client like Discord, or the kind of comment thread which is similar to YouTube that you'd get on the Steam Workshop, where it's like one person comments to the next person comments, it all gets pushed down and no one can really see the responses, which is why the forums offer the best way to do it. And having something that's automated by the forums as far as assigning user groups, like a post count requirement, that allows us the easiest way to have progressively larger groups as we go, without requiring the team to go through and be like, oh, we have these people over here, these people over here, we need to collect this feedback then has to be collated with that feedback from this other place, and then we have to post the same thing in several different places. Having it centralized is a huge deal for us. The forums offer the best place to centralize it and requires the least overhead from us. So again, the forums are open to anyone, so anyone can go and post there. It's just we understand that there will be some people who probably feel like this is an unfair way to do it, or someone who, or probably there will be people who try to like spam their way in. Please don't do that. And we understand that people want the mod as soon as possible. That's essentially what we're trying to work towards and accomplish with this. So we could have technically more or different people get access to it earlier if we were to try to distribute it a different way, or to manually select testers based on like who we know is active in different places. But that's ultimately not the goal of the testing process. The testing process is an important part of development, where we're trying to get as much feedback as possible, as quickly as possible, and as efficiently as possible to make the mod as good as possible, which then allows us to get the mod out for everyone as soon as possible. So we'd appreciate your cooperation and understanding in that. Again, our intention is not to make anyone feel like their feedback in other places is unappreciated, but we do want to get the mod out to all those places as fast as possible. So again, I hope everyone understands that. If you have any questions about it, those can be posted anywhere and I'll respond to everything I can. But for us to actually manage the testing, the forums are just by far the most effective and fastest, most efficient way to do that. So the planned date for that testing to begin in the Admiral's Lounge is February 15th. So that's a little over a month away. If you really want to get involved in the testing, that you have plenty of time to get involved a little bit there. And then there'll be 2 or 3 weeks where that's going on. So that's the stage where we're going to be finishing off any content additions that still need to happen, because there's going to be 1 or 2 Galactic Conquest scenarios that are still being finished at that point. We'll be trying to get out all the major bugs. And then as the feedback slows down there, we're going to open up the testing process even more. It's going to be available to anyone on the Thrawn's Revenge forums at all. Because again, all the testing will be run through the forums regardless. But at that point, you just have to go there and have an account. It'll be in the members only section. And again, this is all like, it just requires signing up for the account. It's very easy. And then the forum software manages most of the difficult stuff for us so that we can just focus on fixing the bugs that come out and saying what needs to be tested or not tested and collating all that. But once all that's done, and we have everything sorted out we reasonably can, we will be moving on to the full release of the mod. So the mod will be fully released in Mod Database, EAW Nexus, and on the Steam Workshop. So the current Steam Workshop item for 2.15 will be updated to 2.2. So if you haven't subscribed to that and you want the Steam Workshop to be where you get the mod, you can subscribe to that now. It'll download 2.15, and then once we have released 2.2, it'll download 2.2 for you automatically. The 2.2 demo workshop item will be removed at some point during testing. So once the testing process is over, we do plan to ask a few of the people who contributed feedback and bug reports during the testing process to stay on as permanent internal testers for our projects going forward. So that'll include future releases of Imperial Civil War, Fall of the Republic, Ascendancy. Currently we have a team of 8 internal testers, and we would ideally like to get up to 20, maybe even 25, to get feedback on all the projects as they go, which makes it a lot more efficient as we try to work our way through the different releases. So our target release date for the final release, of 2.2 rather, is March 29th, 2018. So that's when we would ideally be able to get everything out. Again, all that is tentative, so we're not 100% sure we'll be able to hit those dates. Might be a little bit before or after, depending on how life goes and how the testing process goes. If we have to take more time to make things right, then we will do it. The important part is hitting the content and getting the mod right, as opposed to the specific date. So just keep that in mind. And then around that time, we'll start posting about more plans with 2.3, Ascendancy 1.2. And you'll start seeing a lot more content about Fall of the Republic as well. But that's going to do it for now. Hope you're looking forward to the mod, and talk to you soon. So also, I guess I should say that as we got closer and closer to the release, I'm going to be doing more content covering like patch notes and that kind of stuff. So if you're following the channel, or if you're following on Mod Database or the forums, it will be very hard to miss when the mod comes out. So don't worry about that. There are a few people who've been asking, like, how will I know when it comes out? You'll know. Don't worry. So yeah, that's going to do it for now. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you do have any comments, feel free to leave them in the comments section here, anywhere on the forums or the Mod Database profile, and I will get to them however I can. But see you next time. Bye, everyone.